Hey, what's up? Ian here, and today I'd like to talk about this EPZ G10. It is a single dynamic driver IEM, and the retail price for this is $33 and it's available on EPZ's AliExpress store. So if you are interested, do check out the unaffiliated link in the description below. So I will do the usual, but if you guys are interested in a particular chapter, please feel free to skip to that chapter. Okay, so let's first start off with the specifications, which is at the back of this box. The process of making this IEM is resin 3D printing. Okay, so it's not a cheap process. The driver is a 10mm LCP plus PU driver. Frequency range is 20 to 20,000 Hertz. The sensitivity is 100 dB and the impedance is 32 ohms. And they measured this, and they're showing a graph. I'll show you my graph later. Inside the box you'll find a user guide, a drawstring pouch, and adapter for your desktop PC, whereby it goes to your microphone and your headphone, and then it comes out to the female, which you can connect your IEM to. And the weird thing is it comes with this UV light. So if you want to disinfect your ear tips, okay, you can shine the light on it for a few seconds. Try not to shine on your skin, alright? It might damage your skin. But yeah, it is a UV light, okay, and that will disinfect your ear tips. And then it comes with this cable. It's an upgraded cable. It's a 2-core cable with a microphone, okay, with the buttons, okay, and a straight type 3.5 headphone jack with a velcro strap, and it's got this Y splitter. Okay, the hooks are nice and soft, okay, and it's terminated with the 2-pin. Alright, so upgraded cable, very nice cable. Now let's talk about the ear tips. There are two types of ear tips. There's one with double flange, okay, this is the double flange ear tip, and one with the normal ear tip, but this is an upgraded dome shape ear tip. So both are good quality ear tips, I would say. The double flange is a little bit finicky for me. You need to really spend a bit of time to get the right seal, and once you get the right seal, it's actually a very good ear tip for, you know, isolating the sound. Okay, and for this normal dome shape, I'm sure you guys are familiar with that. Okay, and let's talk about the IEM itself. Now the build quality of this IEM is very good. It's resin, it's 3D resin, as you can see, and it's very glossy, as you can see, and also you can feel that the workmanship is very good. And in fact, even the vent is a metal piece, it's not just a hole. Okay, so very well built. The faceplate is nicely polished with the imprint of this logo. Okay, and yeah, overall a very nice build IEM. The shape of it is like a kidney shape, a pretty small shape. It's not a very large IEM, and the inner shell is nicely shaped as well. It's got a fin here, and the nozzle is made of metal with a perforated filter. Okay, so overall the build quality of the IEM is pretty good. Now in terms of fit and comfort, fits my ear very well, goes into my ears very well. The nozzle is just nice in terms of the length. Doesn't give me any pain or any fatigue when I'm wearing this. So very good fit, and I'm not finicking on this earphones at all. So yeah, very nice and very comfortable to wear. In terms of seal, with the stock tips are pretty good. Yeah, I have no complaints with the stock tips, but I mean with the double flange, as I mentioned, not really used to double flange, so I still prefer the usual dome shape. Alright, so now let's talk about sound, but first let me clear my table. Alright, so first let's talk about drivability. These are pretty easy to drive, no problems driving this with my iPhone, iPad, Android phone, my dongles and my dabs. Yeah, so drivability on this is perfect, it's good. In terms of gear matching, I would recommend things that are pretty warm. Okay, actually you can use it with any type of source, because this is actually a pretty balanced earphone in terms of tuning. I would say maybe a bit more of the warmer side of source, so I would recommend the Sony's, right? Sony They sound warm. They've got a very organic feel, organic sound. Okay, so this is pretty suitable. The Shanglings, I don't really recommend Shanglings. It doesn't really match the G10. Okay. As for dongles, I would recommend, let me see, yeah, the EPZ 20, of course. Okay, this is a good match for the G10. The Questal is, and the M15 is still okay, but you know, I mean the TP20, which is a warmer source, is a better match for the EPZ G10s. Okay, so that's for gear matching. Now let's talk about the tone and timbre for this. Tone and timbre for this is warm. It's not very, I mean, it's quite natural sounding. It's not very heavy in note weight. It's pretty balanced, okay, and pretty natural sounding in terms of tone and timbre. Okay, now let's talk about technicalities of this. Actually, it's pretty good for single dynamic driver. Soundstage on this is quite surprisingly wide. I thought this was a multi-driver IEM when I listened to it, but actually it's not. It's a single dynamic driver. So if a single dynamic driver sounds like a multi-driver IEM, then it's actually pretty good, you know. So yeah, it's wide to the sides. It's good sound separation, good imaging as well, and I can pick up a lot of nuances on this IEM. Things that I cannot hear on some of the budget IEMs, I can hear on this IEM. So pretty good driver, and yeah, very accurate as well. Okay, and in terms of resolution, I find that it's pretty resolute. In fact, it's for its price point, $33 is definitely much more resolute above its price point. Okay, so yeah, in terms of technicalities, these perform really well for $33. Okay, now let's talk about the sound signature. So let me just bring out the graph and show you. Okay, so I hope you guys can see this graph. All right, so this is the graph of the G10, and as you can see, it's actually a pretty harmonious tuning. It's very, I think it's one of the closest to the Harman target. Okay, and yeah, it's a balanced tuning, and the sub bass is actually very good. It's very rumbly. An extension of the rumble is really good, and the rumble is very tactile, matured, and I can feel that rumble. A very assertive type of rumble, but it's not overly done. It's not a bass hit type of rumble, but it's a very firm one. In terms of mid bass, it's thumpy enough. It's not overly thumpy. It's not overly impactful, but it's a good presence of the thump and the slam itself, and the overall bass shelf, I would say, is pretty prominent, but not overly prominent to a point whereby it bleeds into the mids and, you know, veils the mids and the highs. Okay, so it's a pretty good bass shelf. In terms of mids, right, mids is recessed. I do say when I listen to this, it sounds recessed, but instruments, they have that clarity there, that I would say naturalness, right? The naturalness is not overly warm, but it has some texture to it. It's pretty warm lah, but it's not overly warm. So my pianos, violins and trumpets and flutes, they sound very natural on this IEM. For vocals, male vocals, they sound pretty authoritative, very good, and very natural sounding as well, but they sound a bit colored. Okay, and yeah, and warm lah. Okay, so but very engaging male vocals, and also for female vocals as well. Female vocals, they've got that sparkle there, that brightness, that energy, that engagement. So when I listen to my female vocals, they're very nice, very presentable, and easy to listen to at the same time. Okay, because of this part here. So yeah, I like listening to both male vocals and female vocals on this IEM. Now in terms of treble, right, the gain to the treble is actually pretty energetic, and it's quite a I would say intense energy. most people are okay with this, but this is on the edge, okay, to being harsh, but it's not a harsh IM, trust me. So when I listen to this, I find that it's very energetic and very present in terms of the treble. So this is the presence, and it's not overly present, all right? It's not to a point whereby it's in your face, and the sparkle is there, the brightness is there, together with the energy and the gain of the treble. So this is actually a pretty good combination. And when I listen to the G10, it gives me a very good engagement to my cymbal strikes, hi-hats. They sound nice and clean and airy as well. The roll off or the trail off of the treble is actually pretty natural, as you can see, and the air is also pretty good as well. Okay, so overall, this is actually a very that's why it's the Harman curve, right? A lot of people, when we listen to an IEM and we feel comfortable with it, that's where most people feel comfortable with this kind of tuning. Not a very shy bass, not a very shy treble as well. It's not overly done as well. So this is pretty balanced, I would say. Okay, so this is the EPZ G10, the graph of it, and I would say this is suitable for a lot of genre of music. You can listen to pop songs, trance, heavy metal, classical as well, jazz, R&B. They all sound pretty good on this, and I mean, for classical, they don't sound as analytical as some or other IEMs with less bass shelf. But it sounds pretty good and it plays well as well. Okay, so yeah, overall this is definitely a pretty good IM to go for, especially at $33. And I just want to point out that the sound stage on this is exceptionally good at this price. I'm not too sure why, but when I listened to this, the sound stage was very good. All right, $33. Yeah, so I will give this IM a rating of 3.5 stars out of 5 stars. All right, so that's my rating for this G10. Okay, so let's compare it with another IM, and this is a very popular IM, and it's the Tangju Warner. Let me just try to find that. Okay, so I have the Tangju Warner here with me, and I listen to them both side by side. One thing to note, the Tangju Warner is cheaper, of course, but in terms of accessories, it doesn't have as much accessories as the G10. Okay, now in terms of the overall technical performance, I would say the G10 has got a better sound stage, better sound separation. It doesn't sound as organic, it doesn't sound as musical as the Warner, but yeah, it's better in terms of the soundstage. Resolution wise, I would say the G10 also has got a better resolution as compared to the Warner, surprisingly. Yeah, but I mean, this is more expensive, right? This is $33, this is $20, so it's not really, in terms of price point, it's not really a fair comparison, but I would say it's not a big difference, okay, but there is a difference. Now in terms of the tuning, all right, if you look at the graph, okay, the EPZ is the red line and the Tangju Warner is the blue line. They sound quite similar, right? But in terms of rumble, right, the sub bass, all right, this EPZ, the rumble is firmer and it's more impactful. I can feel that rumble more than the Warner. It's heavier and it's firmer as well. So the rumble is very good on the EPZ G10 as compared to the Warner. Mid bass thumps more as well. Okay, and the lower mids is almost similar, but I would say vocals would sound a little bit better on the Warner, but on the EPZ they actually sounds pretty good as well. I can't really tell the difference, to be honest, right? But to give the edge, I'll give the edge to the Warner. Okay, now the difference here is the treble, right? So the EPZ sounds more forward, sounds more energetic, sounds brighter. Okay, and yeah, overall a more engaging treble, nicer treble. It's got more sparkle on the EPZ as compared to the Warner. Alright, it's brighter lah. Okay, so that's my comparison between the EPZ and the Warner. I mean, if I were to compare, there's a lot more tuning IM that's got this type of tuning, and it's going to be endless if I were to compare every single one in this video. I'm just going to bring this out, show you guys just the difference, and how it sounds like, even though the graph looks almost similar, but I can hear the difference between two different IMs. Okay, right, so that's my comparison with the 1R, and that also concludes my overall review for this EPZ G10. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video, and if you did, please give this video a thumbs up, and also please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. So I hope you guys have a great day ahead, and I'll see you again in my next video. Cheers.